I'm Aeon. On this video, good morning, good evening, good afternoon, everyone. Welcome back to more Drama Dash. Today, we're going to be having a little bit of a discussion, and I'm going to be covering a topic that I get asked about a ton, and that is, are jumps worthwhile? Jumping in Geometry Dash is one of the most, I would say, at this point, controversial topics, simply because of the fact that it seems like everyone and their mother is doing it. Basically, what jumping is that you go from a level that is not hard to a level that is really hard. Very common in this day and age is jumping from some easy demon to 9 circles, or from 9 circles to some easy extreme. And I want to just share my thoughts and opinions on jumping as a whole, and give my personal philosophy on why jumping might be a little bit silly. As I've been saying, the Aeon plushie is real, it is existing, it is huge. I did not expect it to be this huge. As I said, 200,000 subscribers, I'm going to reveal the thing, I'm going to show it to you all, and then you guys get to purchase it, and it's going to be awesome. So if you want the Aeon plush, the Prometheus plush, hit that subscribe button. I would really appreciate it. Now, if we go into Geometry Dash, the first thing I think about jumping is the fact that jumping, to me, does not save time. There are very few instances, and I mean very few instances, where jumping is historically been very successful. I think the single most successful jump story that we've ever seen is obviously Zoink. Zoink jumped from Bloodbath all the way up to Zodiac on 144 hertz, and well, we all know where Zoink is today, right? Zoink is arguably the single greatest player to ever touch this game, and obviously worked out for him. However, you have other stories where people do the exact same jump with very, I won't say no success, but it's not as noticeable as Zoink, because Zoink went on to become the greatest player of all time. And I think that's where the notion that jumping is so important and so good for your playing career came from. We had Space. Space was, I would argue, the first jumper that like truly took off, and we don't need to talk about Space. Although I think it was proven that his Layak or whatever to Vossaretta jump was legit. I don't know, doesn't really matter. That was like the first huge jump that truly made everyone go like, wow, this might be the strat. And then Zoink came not long after, like a year or so after, jumped from Bloodbath to Zodiac and became super successful. So now everyone is like, dude, jumping, I want to jump. My hardest demon is deadlocked, and I'm going to jump to what's a popular jump level? Let's just say Zodiac. There's a ton of people. I get asked this basically every single day over on Twitch. Aeon, should I jump from insert easy demon, medium demon, hard demon? Either it's 9 circles B or the nightmare for some reason. It's always those 3 levels. Should I jump to insert insanely hard level? Now, here's where my thoughts come in, right? Like, this is where I start thinking this might not be the greatest idea of all time. Are the servers down? Why is the servers down? Oh no, I can't prove my point if I don't have server access. Hello? Oh no, that's a little awkward, isn't it? Anyway, my thoughts are this. There are just about, I want to say 7,500-ish demons in the game currently. And I think jumping is a good thing when you have all of the fundamentals down and you have deep understanding of the game. The reason why I think jumping when you're already in extreme demon territory, similar to what Zoink did, is that you already have a good understanding of how the game functions. When you have beaten Bloodbath, you are already good at the game, right? When you have beaten Bloodbath, you are, by all means, a good player, in my opinion. You have beaten a hard level. There are just a couple hundred levels that are harder than it in terms of difficulty. Bloodbath is around the, I would want to say, the 500th hardest level in the game. So there are, percentage-wise, not that many levels left for you to go up from, right? So you are statistically required to kind of like jump, in a sense, right? Like if you go from Bloodbath, which is the 500th hardest level, to the, let's say, 300th hardest level, which is around like Vossaretta levels of difficulty, maybe a little bit higher around Erebus. That isn't all too unreasonable. It's a big jump. Going from Bloodbath to Erebus is a very massive jump. It is a huge jump in difficulty, but it's not unreasonable. The skill that you have acquired through playing Bloodbath will translate in the sense that you understand the game. I think the biggest downfall of people jumping from something like an easy demon or a medium demon, especially those 2 difficulties all the way up to an easy extreme, even if it is an easy extreme like Acu or Cataclysm, is that you just do not fundamentally understand everything about the game yet. Yes, this is a very simple game. Jumping, flying, waving, all that stuff. It isn't hard. It is by all means very easy. I'm gonna be 100% real with you. It is pretty goddamn easy in all honesty, but you don't really understand all the small details. You don't know exactly how long it jumps. You don't know exactly the inner details of the latency of your equipment that you are playing with, either you're playing on mobile or on keyboard or on mouse or on the Seo device. You don't know the intricacies of all this like small things. You don't know the perfect trajectory of your ship when you're going up. You don't know the perfect trajectory of the ball whenever you click. It was like those whoop, right? Those are things you innately learn throughout playing harder things. God, I wish I could search things up now, but my internet decided to die on me. Oh, there we go. Now it's back. Awesome. And when you beat stuff like 9 circles, you kind of get an understanding of it, but it's mostly just you're getting better at the game without really truly understanding things. Understanding this game fully comes down to, in my opinion at least, experience. And to get that experience, you just need to beat a lot of levels, right? You just need to beat as many levels as you possibly can. And to me at least, if you are in, let's say, your hardest is, let's give a very simple answer that is very common now, either I Spy with My Little Eye or Change of Scene, right? There are approximately 6,000 levels above those in difficulty that you can play. And here is the mental gymnastic that I give to every single person that always asks me, hey, Aeon, should I jump from this easy demon to this insane or extreme demon? My answer is always, would you rather play 30 different levels over the next 6 months of your life and get more experience, more used to beating levels, and more overall experience with all the different game modes and types of gameplay? Or would you spend those same 6 months to beat one level? Because after those 6 months, if you take those 6 months to improve by playing a bunch of variety of different levels, gradually increasing your skill slowly by beating a variety of levels, and then take maybe 2 weeks to beat that level you would have spent 6 months on, or just grind 6 months hardcore of that one level. Because, and I know this is going to be a crazy concept, but if you beat a ton of different levels, the level you would jump to will just take you less time. And I know that's a wild thought, and it's absolutely insane, but if you jump to Bloodbath and you have not beaten a lot of different levels, you're probably going to spend a good 6 months playing Bloodbath or any other level that you want to decide to jump to. You could have just beaten, like, let's say your hardest is I Spy with My Little Eye. You could have gone to beat like 5 medium demons, and by the time you're on your 5th medium demon, you're beating them in like 2 days. And then you go to hard demons, and by the time you're on like your 5th or 6th or 7th hard demon, you're beating them in like 3-4 days maybe, and then go on to insane demons, and then you're beating them in like a couple weeks. And by the time you're on like 10 of each medium, hard, and insane demon, and you're starting to go into extreme demon territory, you're like 4 months into your grind if you're like proficiently grinding and being like very adamant about trying to improve at the best of your capabilities and understanding the game. By the time it's been 6 months, you're probably capable of beating Bloodbath within a couple weeks. That's how it was for me. I was gradually working my way up, and by the time I started Bloodbath took me like 2 weeks, right? As my 3rd extreme. And that's not to say jumping is inherently a bad thing, right? As I said, once you are in Bloodbath territory or above, jumping becomes kind of like part of the game. When people are like, oh, but I want to play this level really badly, I always go, are there really no levels in between the level you want to jump to and the level that you're playing that you really do not want to play? Is there not a single level between I Spy with My Little Eye and Bloodbath that you have any interest in? Zero. Nothing. Is there no interest in any single level between those? If the answer is no, you haven't looked very hard, because there's so many awesome levels. That might be a me thing. If we go to uncompleted, right, just to like make things easy, there's a bunch of levels that I haven't beaten that are really cool, that are like, I would say almost objectively very awesome, that I could play. Right? Like if I'm in, let's say 9 circles territory. If I'm in hard demon territory, I've beaten 9 circles. I could beat ToE 3 by Manix, which is a fantastic level, really cool. I could beat something like Space Locked, which is a classic fan favorite level. Hell, maybe I even want to be a little bit spicy and do Hypnotic Travel to get that XL practice and work on my consistency. There are so many awesome levels that you could choose between. And I feel like a lot of the time when people are like, oh, there are no levels, they just haven't really looked. Because obviously, if you spend like 5 minutes going through a practice run of a level, you're like, yeah, I don't really feel like trying it, and it's perfectly fine. But at least try to find something. That's why I think that when you get to a point where jumping becomes a necessity, in quote unquote, because I've consider myself a jumper, right? I consider myself a jumper because I went from subsonic to stalemate redux. That's a pretty massive jump. There's a lot of levels between stalemate redux and subsonic, although not as many when I did it because there weren't that many levels. And then I went from stalemate redux to Yatagarasu, which is also another huge jump. Stalemate redux is like my 40th something hardest, and Yatagarasu is my 25th hardest. So I have personally beaten like nearly 20 levels between those two. But the difference here is that I'm not jumping for the sake of jumping. I'm jumping for the sake of there are no levels in between those that interested me. So I didn't jump because of the fact that I wanted to jump. I jumped because of the fact that there were no other levels in between those levels that I was like, yeah, I want to play that. Those levels came out afterwards, after I had already jumped. There were more levels to fill in the gaps that I thought were really cool. I would unironically highly recommend channels like Nexus or Viprin or literally any showcase channel just to like find levels that you think are cool and just play those. Let's say you have medium demons to beat. You want to play a cool medium demon. Let's just go to awarded even. Back to the Bazaar. This level came out recently. If your hardest is an easy demon, go for this. Something like that, right? Like there's so many awesome levels that you can just jump to. And the definition of jump is, in my personal humble opinion, I have had a few discussions around this, like what even is considered a jump. A jump to me is a significant increase in difficulty from your hardest to your next hardest, meaning that, in your opinion, a huge difficulty imbalance between what you have beaten and what you are trying to beat, that is a jump. So it doesn't matter if it's an easy demon to a medium demon. It is normal progression, but if it's an easy demon up into a hard medium demon, then obviously it could be considered a jump. Or maybe if you just aren't good at that kind of gameplay. I considered my Basho Vortex completion a jump because of the fact that my hardest wave level at the time was Poltergeist, and Poltergeist to Basho Vortex is a huge jump. I was bad at wave up until that point. What I'm basically trying to get at here is jumping can be beneficial for very few people, but it can also be very inefficient. The benefits of jumping very rarely outweigh the benefits of regular progression, in my opinion. To those of you who are like, oh, but I'm doing it for attention, because there are a lot of people who are like, oh, but I'm doing it for attention, maybe I'll get known in the community, because it's been done so many times at this point. You cannot out jump the people who have made jumps so significant that they have become known for it. And those people are only known for a very small period of time before they are not, no one remembers them. Like, people remember Cataclysm to Slaughterhouse jump. I don't remember who did it. I just know it's a thing that's happened. And that's because after they beat Slaughterhouse, they just didn't do anything else. They did nothing after that jump. The thing that Space UK and Zoink specifically did afterwards was that they kept on steamrolling other hard levels. After Zoink did Zodiac, he went on to beat more really difficult levels, and those levels kept his relevance up, right? So if you're doing it for attention, you're doing it for the wrong reasons. Anyway, that's a completely different tangent. Essentially, what I'm trying to say is jumping will almost never be worth it, because regular, genuine progression is probably better, because you get a better understanding of the game itself and how the game plays. And you just, I would argue, have more fun, because it's not that fun to just bash your head against the wall against a level that is so unbelievably difficult relative to your own skill level, and it just feels like it's never going to happen. When it happens, you're going to feel very satisfied, but you're not going to feel any less satisfied if you just beat like 40 levels in between that and end up beating it otherwise. If your ultimate goal in this game is to beat Bloodbath, you're not going to have any less satisfaction if you beat 40 levels in between your current hardest and Bloodbath and still end up beating Bloodbath, because you still ended up beating Bloodbath and you're still happy about beating Bloodbath, right? Am I onto something, or am I completely wrong? I don't know. I just wanted to talk about this because I get so many questions about, Aeon, should I do this jump? Is this jump worth it? What do you think about jumping? I wanted to have a discussion, so I have my thoughts built around in one particular place. Hope you guys enjoyed. Tell me what you guys think. What do you guys think about jumping? Is it something that you think is worthwhile and valuable to your playing experience, or is it just a waste of time? Tell me what you guys think. I'll see you guys around. Eat your green stealth. It's a hydrated. Think of making my day better. Hope made yours a little bit better too.